Welcome to the Wonder With Me podcast, where I, Dr. Tonia Winchester, invite you to get curious with me about all things mind-body healing, especially how we can unlock the incredible healing power of our unconscious minds, so that we can all get out of stress mode and go back into healing mode. We'll talk about how you can easily create healthy, sustainable self-care habits so that you can calm your mind, sleep deeply, wake rested, and enjoy happy, energized days. Ultimately, so that you can make a bigger difference in your well-being and that of your family and the world around you. These casual chats are for educational purposes only and don't constitute a therapeutic relationship. With all that said, let's get this episode underway. Come wonder with me. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Wonder With Me podcast. This is episode 37. What's going on? And I am your hostess, doctor and or coach Tonia Winchester. Admittedly, what you just heard took me about 20 takes to record and feel satisfied with, because it has been some time since I've been in the flow and in the groove of recording regular podcasts. And that happens sometimes in life, hey? We're moving along, tickety-boo, and maybe something gets in our way, or maybe somehow we slow down and we put things aside for a while. And there's other times that we can just kind of stay consistent and keep going with things. So I'm really keen to be back in the flow. I really like noodling about ideas on this platform and hearing the feedback of what's resonating and what's making you think and what's making you get curious. In this episode, I will be sharing a little bit about what I've been up to, on the off chance that the things I share might be helpful for you. Because ultimately, all of my work is about reducing pain and suffering and bringing more love, joy, and health into the world. It's really what drives everything I do. Whether it's teaching dance or being a naturopathic doctor or a mind-body healing coach, ultimately, I just want people to live lives that light them up. Because I believe that healthy, happy people doing what they love contributes to a more peaceful world. With all of that being said, let's get into it. Let's get wondering. So, maybe you're wondering, Tonia, what's up? Where you been? What's going on? Lots have been going on. Thing one that I'm really jazzed about is I have a new book coming out in the fall or possibly late summer called Thinking Kindly: 7 Steps to Stop Self-Criticism and Change Negative Thoughts into Positive Ones. This is my second book. You may be familiar with the first one, Break Through the Insomnia Cycle: How to Sleep Deeply, Wake Rested, and Enjoy Happy, Energized Days. This new book is a very simple formula on how you can recognize thoughts that are unhelpful. You could use the word negative, but I prefer the word unhelpful. How to recognize thoughts that are unhelpful, and a simple, reliable formula to change those thoughts into ones that are helpful for you. The subtitle of the book says positive and negative. However, I really prefer the terms unhelpful and helpful. One of our biggest tools that we can leverage for our own well-being is how we think about ourselves, is how we think about our health, and how we think about our habits. So this book will teach you how to have the habit of helpful, productive thoughts. It is currently being edited. I'm hoping that it's going to be ready to get into the hearts and the hands of readers by late summer, early fall. It's taken longer than I wanted for it to come out. And that's okay. You know, there is a deep trust in me that the timing is absolutely perfect. And so the quote unquote setbacks that have happened, I know are just going to make the book so much better. And a better book means better results for the people that read it. Yes, that's thing one. I will keep you posted. I will keep you posted here. I will keep you posted via email if you're on my email list. If not, hop over to toniawinchester.com and get on that thing, or social media too. Thing two is an evolution in my clinical learning. As a practitioner, as a person who loves to help people improve the quality of their lives and their health, and they say that necessity is the mother of invention, right? And I really like that because I can see it being very true in my own life and in my personal evolution as a doctor, as a practitioner, as a clinician. Over 2 decades ago, I started training to become a naturopathic doctor because I saw several limitations in Western medicine and its approach to wellness. Through my own health challenges, which I do believe I've spoken about in other podcasts, I will find them and link them in the show notes. And if that doesn't exist, if I'm remembering incorrectly, I will record an episode. So you can look forward to that. My origin story, which has lots of twists and turns. But I was very disenchanted with Western medicine, and really to some degree still am. To a big degree, actually. Naturopathic medicine was an approach to healthcare that filled in a lot of gaps for me. It solved some of the limitations that I saw in Western medicine. After years of being a naturopathic doctor, I became rather frustrated because it seemed like people just weren't willing or maybe able to make the lifestyle changes necessary to allow naturopathic medicine to do its wonderful work. It's a lifestyle medicine that works when you work it. And I've definitely talked about this before. I realized it's not the act of eating one's broccoli that's hard. It's the decision to do that, or whatever that represents, that thing to do to take care of yourself. It's the decision to do that again and again consistently over time that's hard for people. And so I bumped up against another limitation. Naturopathic medicine is effective again when people work it. And I became really obsessed with how I could help people in that decision-making place. That obsession led me to the healing powers of neurolinguistic programming, which I've talked a lot about on this podcast. Because I learned that often things from the past, such as unhealed negative emotional experiences, traumas, were running these neurological programs unconsciously, automated way that deterred people from the ability to make these types of self-care decisions consistently. I'm still so inspired and excited about these transformations that occur when people do this type of emotional clearing work and how it impacts their physical wellness and their emotional wellness. I released 50 pounds off my body frame. I healed a lifetime of inebriating period cramps. I've only talked about that publicly as a guest on a podcast. Maybe I'll do an episode about that in the near future. And dramatically improved my sleep duration and quality. I used to have tremendous, terrible, torturous nightmares, and I don't have that anymore. I sleep soundly through the night. And still something was missing there. There was this odd time that what was helpful for most still seemed ineffective for some. So I was bumping up against another limitation. And so if you're tracking this, limitations in Western medicine, limitations in naturopathic medicine, limitations in NLP. There's no system that's going to be perfect for everyone. I don't like these types of mysteries. For example, I don't like missing socks. I mean, where do they go anyways? Anyways, that's another topic for another time, or possibly never. But why were some people going through the same transformative process and not getting the changes that they were seeking long term? This was the question on my mind. Why were they going back to old habits of, say, eating junk food, or staying up too late, or not exercising, or lingering in relationships or situations that were stressful, unhappy, uncomfortable? Essentially, I've been wondering, why are people, and myself included, I'm not outside of this, engaging in behaviors and habits that are making them sick or preventing them from healing? Still, again, why? Okay. My passion is showing here. So I bumped up against another limitation, as I mentioned. Now, since I do sleep deeply through the night, I'm not lying awake wondering about anything, but if something were to keep me awake, it would be these questions. If these two powerful healing systems, naturopathic medicine and neurolinguistic programming, don't work for everyone, then is there something that will fill in the gaps? Because I realized each of these modalities approach people with a very specific set of assumptions or model from which they operate. So for example, naturopathic medicine assumes that there's this vital healing force within us. And if that vital force is blocked in some way, there's going to be disease in the body. And so to heal that disease in the body, we need to unblock, unlock, free up that V medicatrix naturae, that healing power within. And in neurolinguistic programming, the assumption is that the unconscious mind is like a computer. It's like a processor. It needs to be given the right set of information so that it can do its job properly. And while neither of these models is wrong necessarily, potentially they're incomplete. Or what I've come to realize is that if that model doesn't match the patient or the client's model of how they see health, how they see sickness, how they see healing, whether that's conscious or unconscious, there's a mismatch, which will only lend or lead to short-term results at best. What if there was an approach that made zero assumptions about the person, their model of health or healing, their expectations, and just met the person exactly where they're at, respecting how they're internally structuring their own problem? I've been looking to find something that fills in these types of gaps, eliminates or at least minimizes these types of limitations. I feel like I've stumbled across something that is doing a very good job of sealing up those cracks for me and the people that I work with. The healing potential here is immense and seems limitless. I am in the very infancy stages of practicing with people. The results so far have been rather mind-blowing. Feels like it's been a really long time since I've been this jazzed, this excited about something. I've been fully immersed in the training. It's been every day in June, taking place in the early mornings from 6 to 8 a.m. because of the time difference from the instructor. I've been doing extra practice sessions, homework challenges, re-listening to the lectures on repeat during my commutes, and I'm absolutely obsessed and loving every moment of it. And it's one of those things that every notion, idea, concept, approach, technique that is shared, it just is like, yes, that makes so much sense because of how respectful it is of people's model of the world. I'm putting this new offer out into the world to help people from a mind-body perspective in a way that is entirely honoring of exactly where people are at, exactly where they're starting from, no matter what their beliefs are, no matter what their past is, no matter what their family of origin has said to them. And I'm inviting you to try it. There'll be a link below this audio where you can go and check out some more information. There's a couple options. You can sign up for a single session or a package of sessions. Even though when people come to this work as clients, as patients, they might be coming with some really heavy stuff. Life is hard sometimes. Life is shitty sometimes. And yet the work is lighthearted and fun. That's a really important thing for me, for things to be fun. And it's really impactful. I know I'm speaking very vaguely, and that's because there's this element to it that is, I think, left best away from the conscious mind. That's a big ask. Obviously, that's a big ask. I'm definitely the type of person who must have all the information before I sign up for anything. I will say that it is not talk therapy. It is content-free. Very rarely would I know the details of what the person is concerned about. The big themes, of course, yes. The main benefit of the work is what I'm really coming to realize is the most powerful healing tool that we can access, generate, create within ourselves, which is integrating the two sides of the hemispheres. The left hemisphere, which is language dominant, thinks very linearly, and the right hemisphere, which is non-language dominant and very abstract and imagistic. Following the work of Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor, her first book was My Stroke of Insight. She was a neuroscientist who had a stroke and was able to sort of witness and recount her account of having a stroke while it was happening. And she's got a TED Talk by the same name. Her new book that came out, I think, fall of 2023 or a bit before that, perhaps, she discusses, it's called Whole Brain Living, and she discusses how there's 4 characters that inhabit the brain, the mind, the nervous system, and each 4 characters needs to have a place at a table. This wholeness, this integration of these characters, of these two sides, is what brings healing back as a possibility for ourselves in our lives. And so this work that I'm newly trained in, at the time of this recording anyways, does exactly that. It does this beautiful job of synergizing, of synthesizing what the left brain wants to say in words and what the right brain is trying to say in images and feelings and gut emotions. When we integrate these two things, the body happily goes back into healing mode. Behavioral changes are possible. As a result, new benefits can come to us. So if you are feeling stuck in, say, the same problem or repeating patterns, like you're in a rut or circling the drain or deep in a pit or hitting your head up against a brick wall or bearing a big burden you just can't put down, or maybe you're just not sure which path to take, this new work might be for you. So whether it's about something in your health, your life, relationships, or some other stress, this is a great opportunity to shift your underlying relationship to the problem, shift the underlying structure of these problematic patterns, and gain tremendous benefit in all of those areas. Now, listen, I'm not asking you to trust me. I am asking you to trust yourself, though. If there's any part of you that sort of perked up listening to this, listening to what I've shared, listening to where this new work has sort of been able to fill in those gaps and overcome some of those limitations, then I encourage you to heed that little voice within you and reach out. Those are the two big things I've been up to. The new book, Thinking Kindly, due out late summer 2024. Thinking Kindly, 7 Steps to Stop Self-Criticism and Enjoy Happy, Energized Days. And a new approach to mind-body healing work that is very exciting, has dramatic, huge potential for getting people unstuck and moving towards where they want to be. So thank you so much for listening, and may you choose to make all of your dreams come true. Hey, thanks for wondering with me today. If you've got something good out of this, then please forward this episode along to the people who you know could benefit. Be sure to subscribe, and if you're really keen, you leaving us a rating and review helps us to help more people, so thank you in advance for that. If you're wanting more insights about how you can leverage the power of your unconscious mind to go back into healing mode, head on over to toniawinchester.com, where you'll find my book, Breakthrough the Insomnia Cycle, and other helpful ideas. Thanks again, and we'll connect on the next episode of the Wonder With Me podcast. In the meantime, may you choose to make all of your dreams come true.